and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy. Hopefully. This is episode whatever I said it was, 276 for the week of September 6, 2016. God, I hope this is recording properly.
Take 4.
Take
5.
9. Yeah, I don't know. My laptop reset all my settings. I don't know. Hopefully the sounds... I tested it. Hopefully it sounds good. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who is here with me this week?
ResurreXiOn.
Toby.
Yeah, I guess that's right. I don't know. I fucking want to record. We'll record a podcast and see how it sounds when we're done.
Fix it in post.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I should actually open up all my bookmarks for all the wonderful things we're going to talk about here. Toby,
yeah.
Before we get started here, you said you had a Pokemon story you wanted to tell me. Let's hear your Pokemon story.
So I've been, I caught the Pokemon bug and been going out there at nights. And I met the coolest duck I've ever... seen before.
The coolest duck?
Yeah, like a duck.
Psyduck or just straight duck?
Duck. Like at the parks, there's ducks.
Yep, I'm familiar.
I met the one I have dubbed the Joker duck. And he literally laughs. Like normal ducks quack.
Sure.
This one does that. And
this is not where I thought this was going.
This is the only duck that does it, and I could walk around the entire park, and I would hear in the very far away, and it's the fucking duck. It's the best duck I've ever met. Yeah, I am really impressed. If I ever gonna, kidnap a duck and adopt it, this is the duck I want to adopt.
How what?
Yeah.
How did this come about?
No, it's a duck that laughs like the Joker, man. I tried to record him because he's so freaking cool. Yeah. But that's one part of my story.
Is it very weird?
Yeah. And the other part of my story is, we're grown up, so we have limited time. So we use we use the cheater app. So all you Pokemon perfectionists that say you have to find it on your own, fuck that shit. I don't have time for that. I will enjoy it the way I'll enjoy it. But lately, there's been a guy on Twitter that's been dropping hints.
Okay.
Of where some magical or better Pokemon show up.
Okay.
So it's become like a treasure hunt. It's a lot of fun. It's this guy we follow on Twitter. We have dubbed him Mr. Pogo, and he drops these random hints. And when we get those hints, and it's like some of the people at the park are in on it because you can tell they're just run off, and they're usually nearby but not close enough that you can walk or run there. So you get all these people jumping in cars and fucking drive the fuck off. It was
someone on Twitter specifically for the area that you go to?
And for some reason it is. It's very area specific, right? And it's always really close by, but just not close enough where you could get it before. So the first time I witnessed this, it was like a scene from Fast and Furious when they were drag racing and the cops show up and everybody's like, fuck, get out of here, right? It was like Snorlax showed up and they were like, get the fuck out of here. Everybody jumps in the parking lot and drives the fuck off. It's really, really funny.
Okay.
But it's become like a Goonies. I feel like I'm 8 and following Goonies clues. This dude drops these hints and we jump into a car and we drive into places we probably shouldn't be driving to catch these Pokemon. I wish
really
it was 8
weird.
Because it would be a lot cooler if it was 8. Mid-30s is a little weird to say this is cool, but...
Oh, Pokemon's awesome, but that's weird that someone would specifically tell people just for one area.
Yeah, no, it is totally in the Santa Clara area, and it's really, really fun.
Huh.
It's like a whole new aspect of the game.
How did you even find this person?
Some random dude told us about it. He goes, we're like, oh, what?
Maybe that's him.
We were actually contemplating if it's him, but yeah, we use these other apps, and we kind of ask the other guys around because everybody has clues about stuff.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, what app is he using? Because he has different clues, and he was like, Twitter, and we're like, what the fuck? He goes, yeah, follow this dude, and then we're like, they only got 4 followers. Are you sure? He goes, yeah, just follow him, and start following him, and all these weird clues drop, and I'm like, this is so awesome. This is a treasure hunt, where we get a clue and they get a dot on a map and we have to go find it.
This sounds like a serial killer.
No, this is you can drag it out on your one, Brock, but this is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a ton of fun.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, these apps that you guys are using, it all it does is just ping the actual database, and
I think this Twitter dude is doing this. I don't think it's a human.
Okay.
We call him Mr. Pogo, but I don't think he's human. Occasionally, he just drops some really good ones.
Yeah,
and it's and he doesn't drop everything. All the stuff he drops are second level or above.
Yeah,
right. And he dropped multiple Snorlaxes. So it's really funny. Then first night there was nobody there. The second night it was like all the people from 87 like showed up at our park. It's like, what the hell's going on? It's like we went from 20 people to like 300 people.
Jesus.
And then they all disappeared the next night after again because the Snorlax didn't show up that night. Yeah, that's really funny.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some serious stuff here. Let's talk about some comic books.
The Joker Duck wasn't good enough for you, man?
Joker Duck's great. That's awesome.
I need to introduce him to him.
Introduce
come
us.
out one of these nights and I'll tell you exactly which duck it is.
Introduce us to the Joker Duck.
Yeah.
You got to take a picture and post it on Twitter.
Joker.
Well, he looks just like a duck. It's a duck.
Yeah, but it's Joker.
You have to get the sound.
This is like a Vine or Instagram like made up for it. Yeah.
You can do a video on Twitter.
Yeah. So Baltimore Comic Con was this past weekend, and a big thing of Baltimore Comic Con is normally that's where Diamond Comics has their retailer meeting, so you get a lot of news coming out of Baltimore Comic Con for the retailer meeting. There's a handful of big things I want to talk about here. First, they put out some, right prior to the Baltimore Comic Con, they put out some big numbers for DC Rebirth. Mm-hmm. We have, let's see, where's my full list? 12 million comics shipped as part of DC Rebirth. Yeah. Now, of course, shipped does not mean sold because comic stores can order these returnable. Mm-hmm. However, that is 12 million times, $3 a piece, plus All-Star Batman, which is more expensive. So that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money coming into DC. Now, they do give us credit back for books we return. Mm-hmm. I actually just got my June numbers back for return, and we're returning like 30 comics out of thousands.
Yeah. No.
So very, very small amount.
Yep.
Obviously, July, August, we're going to have more returns. September, we shouldn't have quite as many because we kind of figured our order number here. But even if it's 10%, I mean, they're going to sell 10 million comics over the course of this. Over the course of this first 4 months. The chart I have here is actually for August, September, October, and November of New 52, where the numbers actually did slide down into November, whereas for Rebirth, September, May, June, July, and August was even up further. September was going to be up even higher once those final numbers come up, because they're adding more titles to it, and we're at a higher point that we are with Rebirth for DC numbers. Well, absolutely
a lot of
incredible.
The titles that are hitting their issue 6s and stuff like that, they're still selling decent amounts.
Like my Batman numbers have gone up, up again.
Yeah,
like ridiculous. Even the worst selling, something like Aquaman, we're still selling like 40 copies, which is 4 times what we were selling at the end of New 52. So, yeah, just absolutely. I mean, we've never sold 40 copies of Aquaman short of the first couple issues that Jeff Johns run. And, yeah, I mean, we're 6 issues in and we're still selling that many. Yeah, it's crazy. And, I mean, for the first few, we were selling hundreds, right? Yeah. So, yeah, it's just nuts. These numbers clearly will never stay this high, but a lot of them, actually a couple of them will. A lot of stores under-ordered. They have 11 comics that sold more than 200,000 each, while 60 sold more than 100,000, which is ridiculous.
It's never been heard of.
Not recently. No. With 21 titles going to second or more printings, or 2 or more printings, all the rebirths, or all the early rebirths and early number ones, with Rebirth itself going to a 5th printing, as well as a oversized hardcover, like they have these Dark Knight and Watchmen books. And there's actually going to be a local comic shop day exclusive dust jacket hardcover version coming for local comic shop day, which we're a part of. So
when is local comic shop day this year?
It was November or something. Yeah. So it's usually like black, like right after
the
small business Saturday. But I think they moved it this year. I think they moved it off that day. So yeah, Rebirth just. Insane numbers. There's nothing. Yeah, you can't beat those numbers.
So, do you think it did what it's supposed to do? Like, do you think it got new fans and brought the old ones back? And kept the 52 fans.
I think
it had 3 purposes, right? It's meant to be meant to bring the old fans back,
right?
Maybe some new ones, and keep the 52 fans.
I think it kept anyone that was reading during New 52 because those people were the hardcores. I think it brought back a lot of old fans.
Yeah,
it picked up some fans.
That's good.
I think your average Marvel reader might be looking for a few extra books to throw in their stack these days because it's rough, man. Ooh. All I know is I believe Monday we'll have the sales charts for August, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Oh,
I think DC might come close to 50% market share, if not August, then September.
you could stop smiling, Ryan. I'm kidding. He is actually not
unheard
smiling.
of.
I'm just giving him shit.
It's unheard of.
Yeah.
I mean, we've never seen a dominance like this. And such a reversal from a few months ago.
Yeah,
just unheard of.
Well, give it a couple of months. You never know.
Well, in a couple months, we are getting our very first
MU.
No, I'll get to that in a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
We're getting our very first DC Rebirth event. That is Justice League versus the Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's right.
By Joshua Williamson and Jason Fabok. So this is going to be the first crossover. It's a miniseries, 6-issue miniseries, weekly, through December and January, which are normally like the slowest dead months of comics.
Yeah.
And they are putting in like their biggest event in this dead time.
Yeah. Someone planned it.
As well as 2 issues of Justice League and 2 issues of Suicide Squad, so that's 6. That's 10 issues that are going to be part of this crossover in 2 months, which is just, that's awesome. Like, just condensed.
Yeah.
With Civil War being extended out to like November now for issue 8, or since October or November, whenever it is, getting just a condensed crossover in this super tight time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Civil War ran long. It's going to run past the time the books after it come out. Secret Wars did it. Forever Evil did it. I mean, and DC's not immune to this. They've had these problems too. So this is going to be
Convergence was a little bit better, at least for
Convergence was perfect. Convergence never missed a date.
Like for release time.
Well, it's because it's pre-done.
Yeah, because it was done prior. But not. I mean, it was 8 issues, and all the 1 shots or 2 shots came out with no problems. But yes, Justice League, Suicide Squad. It's a hot cover with Harley and Batman, technically. I mean, it looks like half Deathstroke on the cover there, or half Deathshot. I mean, on the cover, he's got the eye, but it's Batman, but he's got a sword. Like, what's going on with that cover? So good. Can't wait for that. That's gonna be awesome. And then Joshua Williamson, awesome writer. He's been doing some really good stuff for DC. His Flash book's been fantastic. You guys excited for the first big Rebirth crossover? Because it took a long time for the only one we had was Forever Evil during all of New 52.
Yeah,
Convergence, but that was its own.
But it was part of the move. I mean, there were little things here and there. I mean, they had Atlas. What was it? What was the Justice League Aquaman one?
But this is like,
was it Rise of Atlantis?
Yeah, but this is like event miniseries.
Yeah.
Like there hasn't been.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm fearful of all events. So
Why?
I'm just so tired of them. But
we're getting Justice League next year, right? Or is that 18
movie?
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's kind of like it's in the middle of the
Justice
movies.
League's November.
I think so.
That's not right. Yeah. This is absolutely.
Well, this is very calculated.
This is to have a trade out Justice League versus Suicide Squad. The trade will be out a few months before the movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. They're big teams, big characters, right?
Yep. Those the main 2 properties right now.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, kind of figure it's going to happen.
Yeah, sure. And they're kind of already building up to it. Amanda Waller's been in Batman.
Oh, okay.
And they're going to have some sort of. It's kind of tying in what they're doing with the movie. Very similar thing where Batman doesn't really appreciate the way they go about their methods. Which that's
how it is in the book.
Yeah, sure. That's not new. So very much looking forward to that. I had a weird bit of news this week about Green Lanterns number 6, which was supposed to ship this week, not shipping this week, and there was an article on Bleeding Cool about it actually being pushed back to December. Which isn't true because December 28th is like Diamond's default. We don't have a ship date.
They have the default ship date for each quarter. So the end of each quarter.
End of each half quarter, so, or half year.
Yeah.
June and December.
Yeah. So you have this generic kind of. It will be out at some point.
Yeah. So more than likely, it's going to be out in the next week or 2. It did slip off schedule, but apparently there was something going on where the book had to be pulped. So whether it was a misprint or bad print job, wrong pages, we don't quite know what's going on with that. But that's
no blacked out words.
Well,
read.
Right? Who knows? Right?
Yeah.
We don't know. there's been weird stuff in the past.
Yeah.
We had the beer Superman cover.
Yeah, there was actually an issue of Nightwing a few weeks ago that misspelled a word and made an unintentional racial slur. It was clear. I mean, clearly just a mistype, right?
Yeah.
So that is being changed. That was changed on the digital version, and I'm sure that'll be changed in the trade paperback. So, it's mistakes happen, but obviously for whatever reason they caught this. So there could be copies of this unedited Green Lanterns 6 floating out there. Some stores might get it. Who knows? The variant cover might have it because the variant cover is just the interior pages of the new cover. And the variant cover is listed in stock with Diamond, so I don't know what they're going to do. Well, my copy actually listed as shipped or being processed.
Yeah.
So it could be on its way to us next week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have no idea what's going on.
Of course, you might get a hold and destroy.
Yeah, we might. That happens. So if you're a fan of Green Lanterns, that's getting knocked back a few weeks. What else we have? A bunch of stuff from the con. There was a DC Rebirth panel at the convention, which someone was asking about the Legion of Superheroes because they had said that was one book that was going to return. We actually have a question later about what books we want to see coming up from Rebirth, and Legion of Superheroes would definitely be on my list. And one of the writers on the panel potentially is actually the writer of the upcoming Legion of Superheroes comic, which Jeff Johns teased a while ago. There's something that is happening. The people on that panel are Yannick Paquette, Dan Jurgens, Keith Giffen, Paul Levitz, James Tynion IV, Hope Larson, Tom King, and Dan Didio. Obviously, Paul Levitz has had a long run in the Legion of Superheroes.
No, Paul Levitz has had a long run on Legion of Superheroes?
That's exactly what I just said. But I really hope he doesn't because his last run was not so hot.
Hey, maybe Tom King's going to take over Legion. But
if there is a Tom King Legion of Superheroes comic book, forget it. I'm just going to quit because no comic will ever be better. No comic will ever be better. It's Tom King on Legion. It has to be. I mean, I like Giffen. Hope Larson's fine. Her back roll's fine. James Tynion's fine. These guys are all good. And what he's been doing on Detective has been great. Yeah. But Tom King. Oh, Toby, we were talking on Twitter about those Jim Lee Legion variants. I'm going to track those down.
Which one were you missing?
I think I'm missing number 3. I went through our little...
Which characters?
I don't remember. So there's all... Oh, actually...
Is it maybe the one book I bought?
It might be. On Bleeding Cool, they had a link to all the Jim Lee Legion covers that he did a few years ago. And I was going like, I don't remember these. And
actually, I don't even think I have it. The one I wanted was Saturn Girl, and I think Jim beat me to it, and I was really mad at Jim.
I thought you ordered a fair amount of those when they came.
No, they were super rare.
They were like 125s or something.
Yeah, you had like one at most in the store. I remember trying... I
don't remember.
I tried to get the Saturn Girl. I was like, either I got it or Jim got it.
Issue 1, Saturn Girl, and then issue 2. So Jim Lee did these variant covers. 1 was Saturn Girl, 2 was Superboy, 3 was
Timberwolf.
No, oh my God. 5 is Timberwolf, 4 is Mon-El, and 3 is God, I'm blanking on the guy, the villain with the big fucking with the head with the brain. Why am I blanking on the guy's name? Validus. Thank you. Those are sweet covers. I have to dig through my boxes and see if I have them.
You have them? Yeah.
They're not that expensive on eBay. They were
cool covers.
$10.
I mean, I really liked them.
They linked together too.
Yeah, when they first came out, I really, really liked them. So yeah, I remembered them. I actually remember when they came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny how you're like, wait, do I have them?
I don't even remember. Like, that seems like something I definitely would have taken.
Yeah,
but maybe I have a couple of them. So I looked through in the point of sale system. Yeah, I think you did get a couple of them, but I don't think
they were Jim Lee covers, and I was like, all right, I'll take it.
But I don't think
I might have all of them.
But I don't think we got all.
You didn't have a lot of them though. I remember. I was like, either I took the Saturn Girl from someone, or someone got it before I did. So there was not a lot of those around.
Yeah. We didn't get too many.
If you got them, I think you only got like 2 or 3.
A couple of them, yeah.
Well, if one set is going to Ryan, there's only one set available.
No, the thing is because
but I think I missed a few.
No, I think those were 1 in 25s, and that was Legion was one of the ones that you could return.
They don't do returns very often on stuff.
No, but that was the Legion from the New 52, because remember there were certain
it wasn't.
titles? It wasn't?
No, it was the Levitt's Run.
That's right. It was
right.
Levitt's Run.
Yeah. That's why I said, because the Jim Lee did... he did like various covers for the New 52 books. He did like one issue of Batman, like one cover of Flash, one cover of like Wonder Woman or something. Yeah, he doesn't do too many. Someone was actually... one of the followers on Twitter, we were talking about the... there's an Adam Hughes Doctor Strange variant out this week, and it's like $150 on eBay because it's like a 1 in 50 variant. It's super high. And Adam Hughes actually replied. He's like, "Yeah, I'm actually kind of depressed because people only want me to do variant covers, so no one gets to actually buy my art." And I'm like, "Yeah, I could see that. That actually would kind of suck."
Yeah,
because these, if it's like a variant like the Rebirth stuff, you can order as many of those as you want. But something like a 1 in 50 variant.
I never liked those 1 in 50s. Just number one, the price goes up.
It's so expensive.
Yeah. Number two, I can't usually get them because I'll buy books for covers only for cost, or not cost. I mean, cover price. But when they're like 1 in 50, 1 in 20, 125, 1 in 150, yeah.
The best is the 1 in 500s.
Well, there's a 1 in 1,000 Champions comic with Deadpool on the cover. It's like, get the hell out of here. Stupid.
Who the is going to order 1,000 copies of that book?
I mean, someone does. There's a couple on eBay.
Yep.
The wholesale cost for that comic, I mean, it makes sense, right? You're ordering 1,000 copies of the comic. You get a crap and a half load of variant covers. The wholesale cost on that comic is about $1,200 because of the way Marvel's pricing discount works. So if you can get $1,200 for that book,
you've paid for everything.
You've paid for everything. That's what we did with the Jim Lee, Scott Snyder Superman, because they had so many covers on that.
Yeah.
I paid for the entire run. I gave a case of that book away.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, because we had that case for like 2.
I had a couple cases.
Days.
Yeah, we gave away like a case of that comic for the first issue because like, shit, I already paid for this. I made money back tenfold, right? Mm-hmm. So variant covers work sometimes, but like you have to get that money.
Yeah.
How many people are willing to pay $1,200 for a Champions 1 in 1,000 cover with Deadpool? 2, 3?
There's probably 3 out there, and the 3 people that bought it already got their sales.
Well, Marvel was trying to get 300,000 copies sold on that book, and well, that's one way to start it. So they might actually hit that number with Champions.
How many stores are actually going to get that?
Couple.
Because the thing is having three stores order it, 3 stores put it up. I can see getting $1,200 for that book. But if more and more stores are ordering, that's going to have the cost go down to like $900. So now you actually have to sell.
Well, that ends up being the problem. The amount of stores that can flip this level of book there's so few. And a book like Champions is not the book to do this with. If it was like, like a new Deadpool book, I guess I kind of get it because, it's very focused.
I can understand if it was like a brand new X-Men or a brand new
sure
Avengers or a brand new Fantastic Four. Like, I could understand that.
X-Men #1 with 5 Jim Lee covers with a 1 in 1,000 cover, with the classic team written by I don't know, Hickman. Sure. I totally understand that. Yeah. But like Champions? Mm-hmm.
My holy grail is still that retailer's exclusive on Hush.
The split face one?
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a cool looking cover.
Yeah,
that's
some of those
super cool looking cover.
And that's the trade cover now, right?
It is, yeah. And it actually became one of the freebie covers too. Like one of the free comic book giveaways or something.
I think it was the dollar.
The dollar issue.
Yeah. But man, that cover is so
just buy the dollar issue. You got the art now.
Yeah, but it says $1 on it.
You want the one that says $500 instead?
No, I actually want the poster. They actually released both halves of single posters.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was able to get both halves, but I didn't realize there was 2 sizes. So I was like, I couldn't match them up because I got one in one size and the other size in the other one. I'm like, God damn it.
One was a poster size and one was a promo size.
That's funny.
There were 2 sizes of it, but I was like, damn. Yeah, because I had a friend that put it in a frame. I'm like, that looks cool.
Yeah.
So I got the one side, and I went on eBay to look for the other side, and I got it. And I was like, gosh, shit.
It's a different thing?
There's two sizes.
Jeez. All right, Toby, you ready?
Yeah.
MU.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
The big major Marvel comic event.
That's going to get Jim's balls to tickle?
That will reshape the world.
Yeah.
With Cullen Bunn
Yeah.
and a superstar lineup of creators:
Yeah.
Steve McNiven,
Yeah.
Lionel Yu,
Yeah.
Adam Kubert,
Yeah.
Greg Land, and Salvador LaRocca.
It's quite a lineup.
That's a lot of people.
That's some top-notch art there.
Do you know what the book is?
Yeah.
The book is Monsters Unleashed,
Yeah.
a horror anthology.
Yeah. Why?
Wah, 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 wah. Marvel teased this book
Like it was
For
the
a-
second coming.
for a week straight, and we were even on this podcast like, holy shit, is this their Rebirth? Is
Yeah.
this going to be like the event?
Yeah.
It's Cullen Bunn and like Marvel's best artists. What is this? Monsters Unleashed is an old 70s anthology magazine, black and white thing, and sure, I mean, this will be a cool miniseries or whatever, but like,
And guys like Jim will really like it.
and we'll sell 5 copies or 10 copies and a couple variants, but like, fucking what? Just the wet noodle dick that is Marvel. Like, what are they thinking?
Just so everyone knows, Ryan is using his arm
What
as
are
like
they
a
thinking?
wet noodle dick right now.
What is this?
I don't know.
Who was
I was
asking
very
for this?
disappointed when I read the actual title. I was like, what? I'm like, at least one of my buddies will be happy.
When
So-
is that coming out?
Fucking, I don't know. Past October, so it's meaningless.
They made it seem like the second coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
who knows? Maybe they got some fucking crazy cool idea that is going to make it the second
I'm sure the
coming.
book will be a cool
Yeah.
thing, but it's nothing. It's all right. Well, cool, all right. Horror
Yeah.
anthology, those don't sell. So, you know,
But what
what'll-
if the main characters are like Moon Knight and Ghost Rider and
well, it probably will.
Doctor Strange?
I mean, it could be, but it's also gonna be Living Mummy and Man Wolf, and that's who it is, right? I mean,
you never know. They might have a cool spin on all of those guys.
yeah, but
What if the werewolf now is Wolverine and that's his
but
comeback?
I'm having
He comes
flashbacks
back
to
as Wolverine.
Werecap.
Well, they had this. Remember when Jim Ballant did all the Marvel, like the Halloween? There was like a mini series where there was like the Kyle Pumpkin covers or whatever. This was a decade ago or something. Like this feels like that. This is a cool miniseries, but it should be fucking out in October.
Yeah.
Like how is this not out in October? How are you like? What's this going to come out like December? Like what? What's the point of this?
Well,
it's so
It's
weird.
Marvel's Night Before Christmas.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Now
Now we're talking.
Now,
huh?
if this is Cullen Bunn, Steve McNiven, Lionel Yu, Adam Kubert, Greg Land, and Salvador LaRocca on a Marvel-verse Nightmare Before Christmas miniseries, I am in. I am all in,
See,
okay?
you just flipped the
There
script.
you go.
All of a
There
sudden,
you go.
he went from being very
There you
disappointed
go.
to be super excited about this project.
I'm down.
This
This
is-
is my favorite comic of the year, Monsters Unleashed.
This is Monsters Unleashed. This is the redoing of Monsters Inc. Right?
That'd be all right,
Yeah.
too. But no. I like Toby. I like your idea. Night Before
Yeah.
Christmas versus
Yeah.
the Marvel
Gotta
Universe.
just be positive
I'm in.
about shit, man.
I'm in.
You never know.
I'm down. I'm down. I mean, what are they thinking? That's so weird.
I don't know, but apparently, like, there's no buzz going into this all new, all different stuff.
There really is, and it's really bad. I should say, if you are interested in ordering, because we have a lot of listeners of the podcast, they get the hip-hop covers. They're bringing them back for this new release to Marvel Now. Well, the Marvel Now stuff. We do have a pretty firm order cutoff date, which is rapidly approaching. I believe Monday, this upcoming Monday, is actually your order cutoff date. So if you're listening to this podcast and you want those books shipping in October with the hip-hop covers, order now, because we're not going to get a lot of extra, because we have to order these so far in advance.
Yes.
So we don't have a lot of extra time. That's your little
That's the 11th.
11th or 12th or something. Yeah, it's really soon.
Well, because
It's real
Wednesday
soon.
the 14th, the 12th. Yeah, it's the 11th. So by Monday, September 11th.
I think it's by Monday. Yeah, we have to do it. Yeah,
By September 11th.
So we have one more bit of news here from the convention. We do have Marvel's got another crossover coming up here. We have Death of X, which is the X-Men kind of miniseries event that's happening very soon.
Didn't someone ask about us? Yes, last week about us.
About the Death of X stuff?
Yeah, I think someone did on Twitter.
Yeah, this is the miniseries that takes place just prior to the start of the new Marvel books. So this is what happens to Cyclops. Yeah, Bryce was talking about this. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That will be followed up by IVX,
Okay.
Inhumans versus X-Men.
Does that mean the Inhumans all going to get wiped out except for like the Chosen Five?
I don't know, maybe. And then that will be followed up by the the Inhuman and X-Men event ResurreXiOn. ResurreXiOn. I believe it's supposed to say resurrection, but it's spelled ResurrX for X-Men. I-O, because apparently O with lightning bolts down the middle is the Inhumans symbol. N. ResurreXiOn. So we have 3 X-Men events as part of the Inhuman stuff.
Well, it's been a while
up,
since
so.
we had an X-Men event.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had an X-Men comic.
Are we even having X-Men comics during this?
Yeah. I mean, all the regular X-Men stuff is coming.
Is this a big comeback for the X-Men?
God, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think Resurrection, who's dead, right? Half of them? Cyclops,
Everybody?
Wolverine, Jean Grey.
Everybody?
Great.
Right.
All the mutants are coming back.
Oh, they can't do worse. I mean, they're canceling most of the Inhumans comics, right? Most of the Inhumans comics are not coming back as part of Marvel now. Thank God. There's still a number of them, but a bunch of them are getting
I really
axed.
did like the Inhumans a lot better when they were just a mysterious group of people on the moon.
Yeah.
I really liked them a lot better then.
Miss Marvel, fine. She's cool,
Yeah.
but she's not had nothing to do with the Inhumans,
Nope.
right?
Yep.
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, that book somehow is still continuing.
Hey, don't hate.
But it has nothing to do with the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Karnak, we've had 5 issues in a year, so I don't know if we're going to get any more of
Did we
that.
actually get to 5 issues on there?
We did. We got to 5. Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
It's
I don't even remember 5 issues.
It's Warren Ellis. We got 5. That's it, I think. But I don't think that's coming back. I'm pretty sure all new Inhumans is being axed. I think Uncanny Inhumans is surviving.
Bring back the X-Men.
But right. Like,
The classic X-Men. Back to its roots.
it is the X-Men are in such a shit position right now. The books are Uncanny is fine. Extraordinary is fine.
Extraordinary is good. Lemire's been doing a good job with what he's been with what he has.
With what exactly
that book.
with what he has.
But
X-Men Rebirth, yo.
Yeah, it's really bad. I don't need a solo Cyclops book. I don't need Cyclops in space. Which I didn't mind, right? But it's like just core, just
Bring it back.
Send those goddamn
Mansion
back to the fucking past.
Professor X, get rid of the kids. I mean, again, I liked Bendis's run when that started, but we're years into it now. Get rid of them. Bring back the original characters. Bring back the original team. I'm not, again, Morrison has his arc where he expands and contracts, right? Yeah. This happens, but we're like that. We've pulled that rubber band so far. It's not snapping back. It's going to break.
No, it's a wet noodle.
It's broken.
It's been broken, yo. Yeah.
I don't know what they do. Again, Old Man Logan, awesome. All new Wolverine, really good. I mean, I like some of these titles, but like, get back to basics on these characters.
I think the thing is a lot of people want to go back to X-Men and Uncanny X-Men, and where you have almost blue and gold.
Uncanny could be the original team.
Yeah.
X-Men is your 90s team, and you go from there. I can't believe that Marvel is intentionally tanking these books so hard, so when they do a rebirth, it's like the most successful thing of all time.
That's my thought process behind it.
But I don't know what else to think.
But but why? What else would they do? It's like, let's tank until we're at a comfortable level where we feel like we're
the lowest ever.
The lowest ever.
But I mean, that's not possible. I mean, no company would do that. But I don't know. That doesn't explain what's happening.
No company would do it. Marvel does shit all the time that we're like, why are you doing that, Marvel? Hence, a few minutes ago, Monsters Unleashed.
It's really baffling.
Well,
who sat around and said, how best can we use these creators? I know. Man-Wolf needs a new miniseries. What? What? No.
They pull it out of a hat, right?
What if that was...
No. They pull it out of a hat because this is the fluke, right? They pull it out of a hat because that's the only way we got Vision on Tom King on Vision.
It's crazy.
Tom King, we need you to write some random book. Vision, that's what we pulled out of the hat.
Sure, and I'm okay. Like I said, I don't... When you... God, I feel like the biggest broken record here. But when you have these books, there are some really, really good Marvel comics right now. But they are all these weird anomalies. Every Marvel book is a weird anomalous book. There is no Marvel universe.
Well, I don't mind them for doing all these different things. I actually kind of applaud it.
But all at once?
Yeah, but it is time to get back to some basics. I mean, haven't looked at Marvel book for a long time, and I really want to again. I mean, I started reading the new Wolverine, and because of our Facebook group, I really do. I actually want to continue. I missed the boat on that a little bit, but it is time though to have some classic pillars of some stability of some just to be back.
Well, they have the Sum comic.
Bum. So actually, one of the books I wanted to talk about later was I caught up on this recent arc of Uncanny Avengers, one of the books that I kind of wanted to stick with. Because I in theory, I like the idea behind it. But I caught up. It's a good last arc. They had the return of Hank Pym. Well, I'm going to kind of spoil this here, so if you don't want to know, you skip ahead. But Hank Pym comes back, is merged with Ultron from the Rage of Ultron book that no one read. Because nobody...
There was a Rage of Ultron book? Oh, that was the straight-to-graphic novel
book that nobody bought.
Didn't do any advertising for, and nobody cared about.
Yeah, nobody cared about it. Hank Pym was dead and merged with Ultron. You know now. So he comes back, but look, it's actually Ultron all along. Hank Pym is really, really dead, quote-unquote.
So it's Ultron using Hank's body?
Body, right, yeah. It's a cool arc, right? It's a pretty cool arc. Art's great on it. I forget the artist's name.
This sounds familiar.
Toby, maybe if you got that Uncanny Avengers...
13?
The 12 right behind it there. Read me that artist's name. He's a really good artist. Not someone I was familiar with. 12. The one right behind it, yeah. The one right behind it. There was some cool stuff with Storm. Cap's fairly normalish Cap in this.
Pepe Larraz.
There you go. I really like this guy's art. But there's the little things in there that are like this could be such a cool Marvel comic. The thing that keeps it from getting that 10 out of 10 for me, and the storyline is we still have this shit where the Avengers are being funded by Deadpool, and they're called the Unity Squad, and it's what? Let's dump this garbage.
Well, this was the one that started out with those crystal-headed people, right?
It's really bad.
That was a horrible opening story.
Yeah, really, really bad opening. I dropped it, but I had heard good stuff about this last arc, and it was tying in with Hank Pym, and I'm like, okay, cool, I want to read that. So I started reading it, and really good last arc. Really, really good last arc. But but there's this little thing in the... It's kind of like the New 52. There's this little thing in the background where you're like, I really like this.
But something's just not right.
But it doesn't... Yeah, it's not real. It doesn't count. It's not... I don't know what they're doing. So...
Well, I mean, you also said that the Amazing Spider-Man it fell off.
Oh, it fell
hard.
Off bad with this last series. But again, I read this last arc. Mm-hmm. Fine, perfectly fine.
Is this last arc done, or is it?
Yeah. Because
it's the lead up to the Dead No More.
Yeah, they're doing the prelude to Dead More, which again I wanted to get caught up before that started because it's it's a big story arc. So let's read this. And again, last few issues, Amazing Spider-Man, perfectly fine, much better than the first couple issues. Maybe Slott got some shit from Marvel with the plummeting sales of Spider-Man and said, "Hey."
Well, I think everyone found out that he was just copying Doctor Who episodes.
Yeah, there you go. That's weird stuff. Very, very weird stuff. I don't know where they're going to go.
Well, I mean, it's difficult, especially when a book like Amazing Spider-Man that used to be a very high selling book.
It still is, but it is slipping issue to issue.
Issue to issue.
Yeah.
And you're losing readers who have bought Amazing Spider-Man for decades and decades. These are people...
Yeah, we're not industry. I don't think I'm industry or lifetime low yet on Spider-Man, but we are brushing up against it. I look at my wall this week from the books we put out tonight. So we are September. Mm-hmm. That means the first month of books from DC are no longer returnable. Action, Detective, Batman, all those ones are shipped in June. My stacks are to the edge of the shelf still, right? Not all
except
of them,
Aquaman,
but there's way more copies of Aquaman up there than you've seen for 5 years, 4 years.
When 52 came out, you had maybe 2 or 3 copies towards the end that would actually make it to the shelf.
Yeah, very few. I got 30 up there now, right? So, look at the Marvel. It's it's 1 copy, 2 copies.
Well, and this is the funny thing is last week was a 5th week, and so it was an oddity week. And Marvel had so many titles still on the shelf.
I think that Suicide Squad special outsold them all. And Justice League.
You sold out of majority of your DC books.
There was a Suicide Squad special, and there was the Justice League #9 that's like 8 months late. I'm pretty sure those outsold all my Marvel titles.
No, you sold out of the Justice League.
I sold out of both of them.
Yeah. The only thing you had left, I think, was like a one Harley Quinn and her gang of Harleys.
That's a bad book.
No, it's not bad.
I'm kind of over the Harley thing.
I'm
over this Harley thing.
Well, it's the Deadpooling, right? Let's have 50
That's
bajillion miniseries. I'm like, no, just have a regular series.
I kind of want a regular Harley back. I kind of want like a DCU Harley.
Yeah, I don't mind this.
I like it. I just don't love it. I want to love it. Yeah. That's it for the big stories. Yeah. I felt like the last handful of podcasts, we've gone from weird things and not actually like talking about random news. So good to get back to some news.
Some Suicide Squad movie talk.
Some news that we're talking about.
Unless we want to antagonize Bryce.
Yeah, there we go. We have a handful. We're actually kind of short here. I felt like I have... Oh!
Yeah, I was like, it's sitting right in front of you. I was waiting for you to look down.
Before we get to questions, I want Toby to come here, but Toby can be here for part of the conversation. Now, we've had a few people tell us recently, like, hey, guys, you've been talking a lot about movies and TV shows, and that's true. But we had our Rebirth episode a few weeks ago, right? And we love talking comics. It's just sometimes...
They're complaining we did too much TV and movie?
Sometimes, yeah. They're like, back to reviewing comics. We're talking about comics.
You know what? It might be a good day for it.
What's that?
To go back to comics.
Today?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good day to go back to comics. But there are times, I'm like, what am I going to say? Rebirth is awesome. Marvel now sucks. Like, it's the same shit we always say, right? So when I feel like something hits me, I mean, you guys obviously can jump in at any point with anything you want to talk about. God knows Bryce does. And we're actually hoping he's going to be here soon. Bryce may come on for a little cameo.
My Joker Duck story.
Yeah, there you go. That's the one comic you read, the Joker Duck.
Yeah, the Joker Duck that I met.
Web only right now.
Yeah, there you go. But every now and again, a comic hits that I'm like, man, I need to talk about this. Vision was, I think, definitely the one.
Vision's one of the most recent ones.
Yeah. So a few months ago, Marvel started releasing their Hanna-Barbera comics. And they released Wacky Raceland, Scooby Apocalypse. They released Future Quest, which these are all based on various Hanna-Barbera characters.
It was Future Quest, Scooby, Wacky Raceland, and then the last one was...
The Flintstones. This is by Mark Russell, I believe his name. Mark Russell, who previously had done Prez for
that makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah, and Steve Pugh, who's done a lot of comic work in the past. This guy's worked in the industry for a long time. It's I believe 6-issue miniseries, although hopefully they'll continue it. Look, I'm never the biggest Hanna-Barbera fan. I like some of their characters, but
Hercules.
I like Hercules. Flintstones is one of those things that when I was a kid, I watched it, but like a kid growing up in the 80s isn't really going to have a connection.
A lot of those Hanna-Barbera cartoons, I mean, I remember Jetsons being on, and you just kind of watch it. I remember Flintstones being on, you just kind of watched it. You didn't follow it.
You didn't get it.
But
right.
you watched it, and you were like, okay, this is cool, this is quirky. It kept your interest.
Yeah. But I thought, okay, this Flintstones book, like, who the fuck's going to care about a Flintstones comic book, right? But as my due diligence to try to read as many of these books as I possibly can, I figured, I'll grab...
on the title of the cover.
I read all sorts of books. I figured I'd give it a try. I liked... Scooby Apocalypse is okay. I like Future Quest. I like Wacky Raceland. And I figured, I'll try Flintstones. So I'd actually heard a few people online kind of like one or two mentions of like, well, that Flintstones comic is pretty good. But I was like, whatever, I'll read it. I put down the first issue of the Flintstones, I don't know, like a month ago. Because I didn't read it like the week it came out. I read it like a couple of weeks later. And I kind of just like stared at a wall for a little while. And I wasn't sure if this was the real world. And like, I didn't realize...
Did a bird fly in and start like writing things for you?
It like, the first issue of the Flintstones broke me. I wasn't sure what I had just read because... I read this dark, depressing...
Oh, God, this first issue was...
Yeah, the story of this caveman that must have had this caveman that was discovered in the ice from modern day, who must have had this incredible adventure and was, this brave warrior. And you find out in the course of this Flintstones comic, we're going to spoil the first couple of issues here, but don't let this prevent you from going and reading these comics. That he was basically not a slave worker, but he was like a
rock quarry. He worked at the rock quarry,
right? But he was like an illegal immigrant employee
like
that was
day worker,
like a day laborer that was abused by the boss that runs the rock quarry where Fred Flintstone works at, and sent out as part of his entertainment and like kind of like while the guy's drunk and high and horny to go kill a woolly mammoth, and this guy dies. And there's this background story of the Bedrock Wars that Fred and Barney and all the people at the what do they call it? The
Alcohol Anonymous.
Well, what's the I forget what the thing is called. It's their
self-help group.
Well, but in the show, in the cartoon, it's the
Lodge.
The Lodge. Yeah, I forget what it's called.
Wait, that was in the cartoon?
That's their right. That's supposed to be that's the lodge where they always go where they wear the hats.
The thing is, it's popular. It's a popular thing in the Midwest where you belong to a lodge.
Right.
It's normally like a moose lodge. Is what it is.
Yeah.
And so you pay like dues every year. And my family back in Illinois is part of the lodge. And it's great because you go in there and it's like
the water buffaloes, and the Grand Poobah is the one that runs it. It's where they wear like the blue hats and they have like their, and
it's just basically people gathering that don't want to deal with other. They want to deal with like-minded people.
Yeah, it's like a men's club, right?
It's basically our Wednesday night.
Yeah, sure. So the lodge,
the conspiracy
now
lodge.
is this kind of this PTSD, Alcohol Anonymous group for Fred, Barney, and the rest of the survivors of the Bedrock Wars.
Yeah.
It's like, what? This is the darkest comic book I've read since Vision. Like, so I thought the first issue was this is kind of this fluke. I thought, okay, there's no way DC read this first issue and went, well, fuck, we just have to publish it because it's done. But no. So then you come to issue number 2. And while issue number 2, very quickly you kind of get the joke, right? They're talking about, in the Flintstones, you always have the joke of all these different animals or things that are modern day devices to us or to people in the 50s and 60s. But it's actually a dinosaur that's a lawnmower, right? Oh, but it's all this great...
your garbage disposal is a certain type of animal.
It is an animal in the Flintstones. And so for people in the 50s, this was, late 40s, 50s, this is post-war, this is that... Look at our brand new washer and dryer, right? This is that whole...
It's the expansion era.
It's
the track housing and...
the whole post-war boom. Yeah. So, again, in the Flintstones, it's parodying that stuff. Well, in this, the joke pretty quickly comes. It's, hey, there's all this stuff, and it's called crap. And that's what we call it. And you love your crap, go buy your crap. So you're kind of... the joke comes very quickly, and the whole issue is about them getting crap. It's also about them trying to find a new god to worship, which I thought was really funny.
What's funny is if you think about it, the whole issue is about feeding you shit.
Right.
Because the crap that you're buying is these animals that are things, and yet the religion that you're following is
crap.
That's the vacuum cleaner.
Right.
It's crap. So it's like your religion's feeding you shit. You're
buying shit.
It's like your life is shit.
Yeah. Now, here's something I'm not going to spoil. I thought, okay, I got the joke. It's pretty funny, right? And then the last page hit me... Like we're talking like We 3 levels. If you've read We 3, like this hit me like a fucking punch to the nose.
It's very unexpected.
The last page, I was like, "What is wrong with this comic?" It is like, I was just absolutely flabbergasted. And so we've read number 3. 3 actually comes out tomorrow, and I won't spoil the whole issue, but I do want to talk about 3 here in a second. I was speechless at the end of issue 2, just absolutely speechless.
Well, and the thing is is the wording that they use. He's like, "Oh, this is this is
no spoilers. I want people to
this is a discontinued. We're going to recycle it." And you're like,
no spoilers. I just want people to go read this book.
It's a brilliant setup.
Yeah.
One of our customers, Dan, he's a comic book writer. He's worked for DC in the past, and done some other stuff. We were talking on Twitter about this. He said this is the only book being published right now that he is actually like jealous of, that he wish he thought of this, because it is such an absolute genius modern approach to the Flintstones. And I really want people to read this book because it is, of course I'm selling it up so much now that people are going to read it and be like, yeah, whatever. But it's something very special. Issue number 3 that comes out tomorrow. Again, I won't spoil it because it hasn't come out yet. However, almost just thrown in the middle of the issue, we learn the origin of Yabba Dabba Doo.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, what? Oh God! Like
it
real. Like I read it and I went, wait, what? And I kind of flipped the page back and went, oh, okay, that's the most depressing thing. It makes you take the entire show and it just flips it on its head. I could never watch the Flintstones again after reading this comic book. This has ruined it and ruined me, but it is so good.
Well, this is the only book that I've read in a long time that, besides Prez.
Oh, and it has an absolutely amazing David Bowie joke on the second page too.
Yeah.
So,
besides Prez, this is the only book I've read in a long time that's very, very just in your face with like social commentary,
extremely political and extremely heavy on,
and like just in
other comics have it too, but this is.
But besides Prez, like we haven't had something like this mainstream, like from Marvel or DC. In a while.
Not. I mean, the genius about this comic is that it does it through the lens of the Flintstones, right? I mean, that's why it's effective. It's a very, very strange comic. Now, Toby, you hate shit like this because you don't like to be depressed. What do you think of this book?
It's really funny because when Prez came out, I actually was really excited about the book. I was extremely excited, and I started reading it, and I got really depressed. I'm like, I don't really like this because it makes me feel really bad, and I'm like,
it does.
This is not why I read comic books for. I'm like, I already know the world is fucked up. I don't need a comic book to fucking remind me that it's fucked up.
Real quick, did that Prez trade come out?
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah.
Okay, because I need to get one.
But Prez is not being continued.
Dumbasses.
Well, it's really funny. That it's the same writer makes a lot of sense now because it has the same feel.
Yeah.
And when I was reading this too, the entire time I was reading it, I was like, "This is the Dark Knight of the Flintstones." I mean, it literally is. It's like when Frank Miller took Batman and wrote the Dark Knight. This feels like a new Frank Miller took the Flintstones and flipped the script, and it is, like you said, it's brilliant, but fuck, man, I did not enjoy the book. Yeah, I really did not. I mean, I'll still go with the grown-up Flintstones where, the kids are teenagers. I'm like, that's totally fine with me. When it goes into social commentary and political stuff, man, maybe I'm not smart enough for these books, or I just don't enjoy them. I mean, like... It is brilliantly written, though. That second issue, I did not know that was coming. I was like, that was such a brilliant setup. I'm like, the entire book, I'm like, all right. And then the last page is like, wow, that was really well done.
But the thing is, with that last page, you still get hope after that. Like it's such a low, like it brings you to such a low point.
It is a extremely bittersweet.
Yeah,
extremely.
Yeah. It's a different book. Let's put it that way. It's definitely different. I mean, look, the way I look at it, if they just put out a Flintstone book that's based on a cartoon, you get a couple of kids buying it. Maybe parents that, because they liked it as a kid, they're forcing their kids to look. Nobody's going to give a shit, right? Yeah. This is I think it's like an aftermath of like the Archie Afterlife books, taking a existing property and flipping the switch on it.
Yep.
This feels like exactly like that. I'm like, look, these are established characters. Let's do a spin on it, and one hell of a spin it is. Yeah. So, I do recommend it. I don't know if I like it personally. I do recommend it though. It's just like, if you're gonna do a book, then fucking do it like this, right? It's like if you got a new spin, it's like a Jeff Johns thing. Like, you kind of look at all the things that made it special. This maybe not in a positive way, but it's like, it took it and it flipped it around where he made it think of it completely differently, right? It's similar to what Jeff Johns did with a lot of the DC history stuff, so it's cool, but, like that Asian Superman book that, read a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I just don't know if I like social commentary books. I really don't know if I like them. I mean, it could be really well written. Like I said, I will not deny that this is a superb written book. It's just like, I just don't know if it's for me, man. I like Nightwing being a little brother or big brother to little Damien and taking him into the arcades. I mean, I could read that all day, right?
Well, I think you have a lot of books like Batman. It's a dark book, but there's always kind of hope at the end.
Yeah,
this is like, it's a happy book, but it's kind of just a dark ass undertone.
And I love The Wire is one of my favorite shows, but for some reason I find a lot of humor in that show. Yeah. I don't know. This one just drags me down, man, but I will keep on reading. It is definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I really hope this book kind of gets picked up.
I kind of like what they've been doing with all these kind of like reimaginations of these books. Scooby might have been the weakest out of the bunch.
But the Scooby-Doo comic sells like 2,000 copies a month.
Yes, because you got Jim Lee doing covers.
This Scooby sells 20,000 copies a month, right? Whether you like it or hate it,
the new
sells.
Scooby's not bad.
No, it's fine.
That's got some weird stuff. Say like Scooby is like experiment. There's some stuff in there too.
Well, in the last issue, you got Scrappy.
I haven't read the last few.
Scrappy Newcombs.
Yeah,
we get
Kill Scrappy. All right, let's move on to this. Check out this comic or pick it up on our Comixology site if your store has it.
This is going to be one of those, like, years down the road, people are like, you have to find this book.
Did you read this?
Yeah, you have to, like, it's going to be one of those, what's it called? I forgot the word.
Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
Hidden Gems.
Yeah, like like
cult classic.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I think it will be. I really do think it will be.
I've hand sold a hell of extra copies of #1 the last few weeks because I've been talking the book just in random conversations.
Yeah,
we sold issue 1 and 2 today.
Yeah, I sold another one today.
I do hope it stays in quality though. Like I think the RTR might have stayed alive too long.
By being a miniseries, I think that's good. That's good. So, yeah. All right, we got some questions here. One from Mitch.
Why are you still online?
Because it's funny.
You're a jerk.
From Mitchell.
Hey, Mitch.
There you go. He says, are any of you watching Fear the Walking Dead? And if so, what do you think? I haven't started the newest season and probably won't. It's like you were reading me and Brock's mind. Because we were just talking about that. What?
Idiots.
Us?
Yes.
Why? Do you like it? You watching it?
Yeah, hell yeah, I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
I gave up. So I'm done.
I couldn't even start.
I gave up at the.
But you watch Lucifer, fucking a lot of sense you make, man.
Better than Fear the Walking Dead had. I watched the first season and thought, okay, this was not great, but we'll see where it goes. I watched the first half of the second season, and I was bored to tears. And again, people are like, oh, it gets better. I dropped it. Leanne's still watching it, and she turned to me. She's like watching it just in the background, just like something to have on.
You and Leanne have the same opinions usually.
Not about a lot of stuff. Trust me.
You do.
Don't tell her that. And she was like, I would rather go like clean the house than watch this show. I'm just
you're right.
bored to tears.
Or whatever.
And I really like the main show. Well, I mean, what are you getting out of this? Do you like it? Or?
Yeah, I do. I mean, look, it's not as good and fun as the main show. It's definitely like, second rate to it. But I really enjoyed the druggy kid. I really, really enjoy him.
So there was an episode.
Like, I hated him. The first episode, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I should get rid of this motherfucker. But throughout the show, I'm like, this is my dude now.
Yeah, the episode that I saw part of, he was pretending to be a zombie, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, he's the only half interesting character on that show.
He's the only interesting character on the show right now. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah. I'm not going to deny that. Well, the sister is cool because she was on the 100 and she was badass on that. So maybe there's some layer over there. I'm still waiting for her to get face paint on and then get the two swords out. But
I'm just not.
No, I think the druggy kid got me hooked. I mean, they could actually just follow him the entire show now. I mean, they could do away with all the other characters.
That statement's kind of The druggy kid got me hooked.
Yeah, you go.
Whatever.
But
I really do enjoy him because he's got the best instinct out of all of them, but
Right.
nobody believes him because he was the druggy kid. So like that makes it very interesting to me. But look, it's not a type show anymore, but it never was.
No.
This is on when other shows are not on, so I will keep watching it. To me, it's never gotten to it never got to S.H.I.E.L.D. level.
Yeah.
It never got to, like, a lot of these other shows I was keeping up with and really lost interest in. I mean, I still care.
I mean, it's well made. I just have no connection to these characters or their plots. By this time on Walking Dead, a season and a half in, I was like, whoa, in my veins, talk about druggies. I am hooked, right?
Yeah.
I thought people complain about the second season of Walking Dead, the farm stuff, Herschel being slow.
I actually like that
I
stuff.
love that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So to me, it's like this is.
Well, the thing is because the first... I don't think what people remember is about Walking Dead is that first season was only 6 episodes. So we didn't get very much character development in those episodes.
it's the same. Was it 6? Yeah, it's half,
the,
right?
The second one was a full season.
You're right. It's the same as Fear the Walking
The
Dead.
original. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is but the original Walking Dead was only 6 episodes. And so you get this, it's not very much character development. So in the second season, you have to develop these characters a little bit more, get them to care about them, because you've already started killing off people in the first season.
Yeah.
And so they had to slow it down a little. Now, yeah, they might have slowed it down a litle too much, and then, we start with season 3, and it's like, holy shit. And that's pretty much how they do
see.
it now.
Well, I'm gonna spoil a little bit here. The druggy kid in this last episode, I think it might be one episode behind though. They go to the supermarket where they have to trade like drugs for supplies. Basically, they get to have they get a cart and they get to fill whatever they want with the cart as long as it's inside the cart. And the druggy kid steals like cookies or chocolate, whatever it is, right? And the girl he was with, like, don't do that, put it back, and he stole it anyways. And that's when the bad guy's like, hey, we're gonna chop off your hand and shit like that. And then he does his little thing and flips the script on it, where he negotiated that they get to two cards, for the drugs that only they can provide. Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay, that's cool. But the kicker is he kept the cookies, and it was because he was giving it to a little girl at the farm, and it was like just really well set up. I mean, like, I really do enjoy his story. Like I said, all the other characters, I really don't care if they kill them all and replace them with a whole new cast, as long as this druggy kid stays in the show.
I think it's the only one people care about. Next question. We got a bunch here. The one from Tyler says, what comic series do you guys wish would return? I miss a solo She-Hulk series. And that ends a lot of She-Hulk was good stuff. I just want my Nova back. They teased me. I want Nova, Rich Rider, Nova.
Is it too bad to say I just want the Marvel Universe back?
There you go. That'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work.
But I would love to have New Warriors, but not the Ryan ones. I want the Toby ones. The X-Men I would like to have back. I don't know, just classic stuff.
Yep.
I'd like to have a Booster Gold series back.
Yeah, I wonder what's up with the Booster. They got to bring him into Rebirth. I know they're going to.
I hate to say it, but I like to see Barbara back in the wheelchair.
That's harder to do.
Yeah.
From Chris, he says, what are your thoughts on Civil War 2 as of now? I like it. That was Chris saying that. I also like it. Although 5 is late. I don't know what's up with 5.
The first two didn't really hook me. It was 3 and 4 were much, much better.
Yeah, it's been good. I haven't hated it. I like it. It's good.
The tie-ins, some of the tie-ins are good.
Pointless.
Well, no, some of the tie-ins are good. Like The Accused was not bad.
I haven't read that one yet.
What was the other one? The other one shot that they did. There was I've read 2 of them. They were okay, but all the tie-ins with the actual book, ongoing series, who fuck cares?
Yeah. All right. I didn't want to cover this in the main episode, but we'll talk about it briefly here. This is from Problematic Cartoon on Twitter. He says, "Can you take some time to explain pre-ordering comics to all the woke Tumblr millennials who can't figure it out? And please don't gloat about Nighthawk being canceled. It sold for shit, but it was a good book."
Oh, I saw some of your Twitter conversation about this.
So, a little backstory here. This past week on The Outhouse, one of the worst comic news sites on the internet.
Well, the name says it all.
Yeah.
They could at least change it to Latrine.
Used to be Shithouse.
Shithouse.
God, Mel Brooks, you're greatest. I don't even remember the guy's name. It's some horrible Jude Terror. Is that his pen name? The worst. So he wrote article 748,317 on the subject of fuck Marvel, fuck DC, fuck shitty comics, quality's the only thing that matters, pre-ordering comics is the worst idea ever, burn the entire industry to the ground. Right? This was his article.
Is this that guy that wrote that comic a few years ago from Image that nobody bought?
And
was pissed off at?
No, I don't think so. So every 6 months, the same thing comes up, and everyone's like, yeah. And then Batman tops the sales charts, and Champion sells 300,000 copies, and life continues. Comic sales increase year to year. More comic stores open, more pre-orders, more subscriptions. Now look. Oh, here's Bryce. Actually, get his mic on here so we can... There he is. God, we were actually talking like Marvel stuff a bit ago, but now we're just bitching about people that don't want to pre-order comic books.
Woof. Well, that sounds...
You got a few minutes here, Bryce. You're in between. You're running here. You're going to be, I think, next week. Next week, you on official?
I'm on next week.
Okay.
I'm on next week, baby.
Okay. Well, before you go, I'm going to give you a stack of Flintstones comics to read for next week. This is the second best book being published right now, right behind Vision. Truth, we just talked about it for like 20 minutes.
Really?
Wait till you listen to the episode.
All right. I'm excited.
But there's an article that went up this past week. Let me recap for what I just said 30 seconds ago before you walked in.
Please don't tell us what number article it is ever again.
where people were complaining about pre-ordering comic books, right?
Okay.
And how Marvel and DC should burn and the industry should burn. Okay.
Yeah, sounds right.
Typical fanboy article on the internet.
Yep.
So
Gets lots of clicks.
this all came because of Nighthawk being canceled. Canceled in 6 issues, just not in the next previews. And the writer is all up in arms about it. The internet's more people on the internet are up in arms about it than the amount of people that bought the comic book. Because I think number 6 sold like 8,000 copies, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Look, and the whole idea of if you like a comic, if you want to support these creators or this type of character, if you want to support minority characters or if you want to support minority creators, the industry should do this anyway, but a way to go about this to guarantee that these books continue is to pre-order comics, right?
Yeah. So what's the problem?
The problem is people believe the industry should be burned to the ground because you shouldn't have to pre-order a comic in order for the industry to be
They should just go ahead and make enough of that comic,
more open,
whether it's sold enough or not.
Right,
they need to make it regardless.
So I had lots of conversations about this on Twitter because it's a bullshit article. I ordered 5 copies of Nighthawk, the most recent issue of Nighthawk. I sold 3. I had 2 copies sitting on the shelf that anyone could have come up and bought. It wasn't like I was ordering one and not having any for the shelf. I had copies on the shelf. Nobody bought one. I've had this at like 6 or 7 issues prior, and I sold 4, or I sold 5. So I had sold 4, so I moved this one to 5, so I would have 1 copy on the shelf. I sold 2 less copies, right? So now I am like, well, time to cut this for the last issue because obviously nobody cares about this series.
Yep.
Now, it sucks that your favorite comic got canceled, but there's an entire Overstreet price guide of your favorite comics that have been canceled, right? Like, the industry owes nobody anything. These are for-profit companies. Comic stores are theoretically for-profit, right?
Yeah.
I don't stock books out of the goodness of my heart. I stock comic books that I sell. Now, occasionally, a book like, let's say, The Flintstones that shocked the hell out of me, I may push slightly more.
Yeah, you look to see if you can order extra copies of number 1.
Yeah, but I have a stack of number 2 that hasn't sold, so I cut my orders on 3 and 4 because I did not sell many copies of Flintstones number 2. Right. So my one of my favorite comics of all time, Nights at the Dinner Table, I talk about this all the time. I sell 2 copies to 2 subscribers. Haven't sold a copy off the shelf in years. Right.
Right. What is their argument, though?
Their argument is books like Nighthawk should exist because the industry owes the industry books like this.
Owes the readers.
And that stores should carry this book in abundance. No one should have to pre-order a comic. And it's like, this is not how the world works, guys.
Well, It's not
exactly.
how it's not how the publishing world works. Like when you go to like movies,
The whole world.
Yeah.
no, the thing is like movies aren't based on pre-orders. Like if you buy a movie like Suicide Squad's coming out, they make X amount of those, but it's
you're not
based
talking.
on.
But we're not talking Suicide Squad. We're not talking
No, I know,
Batman.
I know,
we're
I know.
talking low bottom tier.
yeah.
And I guarantee you, if you go into Best Buy or Target, maybe bottom rung. No, I'm not saying bottom
No,
rung
you
is
go into
quality.
Best Buy or Target and look for an independent movie. You're not
Right,
going
they're
to
not gonna find it.
You're not going
Right.
to. They're not there.
Right.
It's because no one buys them there.
Right.
Let's just be frank.
Right. If you go,
When they did the Blu-ray release of Willow,
yeah.
no Best Buy around here had a copy when it came out.
It's because it's an old movie.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the movie itself, and no
Right.
disrespect to its fan.
Right. No, that's
It's
what
an
I
old
mean.
movie. They're not going to sell it as much as they want anymore. It's not the same world anymore.
Yeah, and we're talking, Blu-rays, which even though
they're on their way down.
they're all, of course, they're on their way down. But the lowest selling Blu-ray sells more than most comic books. So you have to look. If you're selling something like 8,000 copies, there are like 3,000 comic stores. You're averaging 2 to 3 copies per store, right? There is just not a demand for these books. Now, Marvel can publish this book as long as they want. God knows DC publishes Jonah Hex with the same numbers or worse for 60 issues, right? Because they liked it, they believed in it, it was profitable to some degree. Mm-hmm. But there are so many books like this. And yeah, if I had 25 pre-orders on Nighthawk, I would have ordered a lot more than I did.
If you sold them off the shelf.
Or if I sold them off the shelf, right. I sold like 5 or 6 copies of number 1, had like 20 cuts, and I never looked back, right? I mean, that's how these things work. It's baffling to me that people think this industry owes them anything.
It's been several podcasts since I've agreed with you so hard.
No, don't get me wrong. Marvel and DC should hire a broad variety of people. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying
They should have a well-rounded.
Yeah, and if someone has a good
right?
pitch
like,
for,
you have your Batmans, but you also have your smaller titles like Hellblazer.
Yeah.
Like you have a variety going in, but you're bringing to the table quality people to make.
But these books,
Yeah.
Prez, Omega Men, right? Vision. These books come and go constantly, right?
Are you talking about the demographics of the creative staff, or are you talking about
Both.
Okay.
They are one and the same to this conversation, because many people believe the comic industry is all white men and all the characters are white men and they sell to white men. And we are seeing with limited success, Marvel is expanding out on that. There are many female character driven books that are very mediocre selling. There are many male driven books that are very mediocre selling. So I'm not saying they shouldn't try. I'm just saying if you want these books to succeed, pre-ordering is a major part of it. And if you don't want to pre-order, I'm not saying it's the readers or the consumers' fault these books are being canceled. I'm just saying the industry has this magic number that these books kind of need to hit. And if Marvel and DC aren't hitting them, they're not going to continue these because the internet wants them to.
The bottom line is, if you want to support a book, your money is going to show some signs. It's
the only
like
thing that matters,
right? Independent movies. If people buying it, they're going to release a little more.
All your tumblers are meaningless if you're not buying the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Wait, hold on. Possibly stupid comment incoming. Wouldn't they? So this creative team behind Nighthawk that people are up in arms against because they're. Am I getting this right? They're axing it, and it's part and parcel with the fact that it's got a minority creative team.
Yeah, the creative team was very like this industry is frustrating, and then there was an article on the Outhouse, which is a terrible website, about burn the industry to the ground because books like this are being canceled.
Right. So I guess what I was getting towards is that Marvel would keep on the same if they wanted to stay with Marvel. And this is the possibly stupid comment. Wouldn't Marvel keep on this creative team, on their team, and so they would just go from Nighthawk to.
Well, he's going from Nighthawk to Occupy Avenger, or Avenger Occupy or whatever the really shitty sounding Hawkeye book.
So I was going to say move him to White Tiger or Blue Marvel or something like if it's important. Like Marvel is either making a decision to back the diversity in creative teams, it's not like they're going to cancel this and then they're going to just abandon their stance on having more minority-driven comics.
Yeah, no, that is not happening at all. But we're going to have...
I just think it's so lame that those loudest guys are not the ones buying the books.
No.
So I'm like, why are they bitching and moaning? If they're not going to support what they're saying they want to support, then they have nothing to say, really.
Yeah. You can be mad about everything you want, but if you do not purchase the comic in question, your opinion is meaningless.
Yeah,
if you do not put down your $4,
one guy that goes, "Yes, I did purchase. I'm sorry to you specifically. I'm sorry, but it's everybody else.
Right?
It's not that guy. It's everybody else."
And when I go to buy something, a video game or a DVD, and it's not there, I'm sorry, but this is the world we live in now. If I go to buy it, it's kind of on me because you know what? I know what I want. I know what I like. I know I should have pre-ordered it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It is not this started a couple years back when Diablo 3 came out because I would buy all my collector's editions. I like going into the store. Bryce can hear me out on this. I like to buy my Blizzard collector's editions, right?
You got to get them. They come with a mini pet.
They come with mini pets, exactly. I go to the store and buy them, right? But I was kind of like, I don't want to buy this online. I just go to the store and buy it. Release day, right?
Yeah.
I walk in. Oh, I'll take one of the collector's editions. Sorry, we sold out. Pre-orders only. Went to another store. No, we didn't get any. It's kind of on me at that point because I should have.
If you wanted it bad enough, I should have pre-ordered it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, pre-order everything.
Yeah.
If I want it, pre-order it because I am putting my money where my mouth is, and I want this product ahead of time.
Yeah.
Boom, mic drop. This has gotten a lot of attention, and I think that we've covered it sufficiently. Do we have any questions?
Do we got any questions about?
There's nothing. We've covered it all, right?
Wait, are you moving us forward on stuff?
Yeah, I mean, how much longer are we going to talk about this? This is a stupid argument by stupid people.
It is.
Let me see if I can
find a Bryce-friendly question.
Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find Bryce.
question.
Yeah.
Ryan probably got another email.
Well, it's mostly DC stuff. Let's have this. This is from Joshua, our good friend Joshua writing. He says, "Are you disappointed that Vision's daughter, will appear in a book not written by Tom King?" Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed.
Yep.
That's like the most DC Marvel question I could have asked.
Yeah, pretty much. The real there's I don't know. There's no answer other than yes, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed the whole Tom King situation.
Oh, here's one, Bryce. Here's one that you'll have an answer for. Here's one you'll have an answer for. Here's a question from Alex Barn. He says, "What are some of your favorite superhero logos? Are there changes to logos that you loved or hated?"
Well, Alex, let me tell you something. I was
waiting for it.
Love the Batman logo. On the main Batman. They've had that for several years now. How long has that been there? Forever.
Well, they had the bat with the cape. And it said,
"Oh, that was good too."
It said Batman, like that was during the Jim Lee stuff. They've gone back and forth on a few different logos.
Anyway, I really like the current one. I did like the Jim Lee stuff as well. I love the classic. Not nowadays, although nowadays it's fine. All the X books had their own font with the.
Here's a question for you, Bryce.
Yeah,
who is the character in that X-Men issue where he's grabbing the X-Men? It's like a Silver Age issue.
Oh.
It's a Neil Adams cover, I believe. He's grabbing the logo. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
That's a great cover.
God damn it, who is that?
I love that logo.
And it's crumbling.
Yeah, I love the interaction with that logo.
Colossus, is it?
No. It was before that.
I don't know. I first thought Colossus, but I can't see him doing it.
There was like a Silver Age issue, wasn't it?
Oh man.
Anyway.
To find it. Anyway, that's a great one. So yeah, I would say the classic X books because they were all similar, but with their own sort of font and colors, of course, primary colors only. I'm not against the current Spider-Man Deadpool logo. I'm not sure how much longer that book is going to keep going, but I can get behind that logo. I'm just looking at what's on the wall here. But yeah. I think that S.H.I.E.L.D. has an awesome logo. It's just, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't read, and S.H.I.E.L.D. has never had the best...
Like Suicide Squad changed their logo
comics.
again recently. They have the kind of... The suicide part is like handwritten scribble, like drawn up top to you, right?
Harley Quinn is now on the logo.
Well, it's funny. I actually... I hadn't thought about this for a while. I'm looking around. I'm actually a little bored with Marvel and DC's logos right now. They're all very
Long live the fucking 90s.
They're all very similar. Marvel has a lot of very thin fonts.
I remember when I was opening the X-Men books and each character had their own fucking font for their name, and that was bloody glorious.
Yeah.
You know what was awesome was during the Nightfall trilogy of when the Death of Batman or whatever it was, where like the logo was like phasing in across the whole story. So over the several months of like Nightfall, they like phased in the logo of the Batman logo, and then it phased in the shattering Batman logo, and it slowly shattered. Yeah. It wasn't the title; it was like the logo in the bottom corner.
They went to the thinner,
and then they went to
more of like a bird,
the Azrael. The Azrael logo or whatever.
You know, I'm looking up here on our back wall here for some classic stuff.
There's so much better ones.
That Tomb of Dracula logo is awesome. It says of Dracula, of is Dracula's head. Dracula is his cape. So his cape.
That's not his head, dude. That's his pop's
collar. Like the collar, like the top part of the cape. Yeah. That's a sweet ass cover.
The Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones.
Oh, with all the gems underneath. That's a great cover too. You know what's really funny? I think it's funny. Does the Deadpool comic now still have the... Yeah, because the Deadpool comic in the 90s had the dash. It was like two very blocky lines of Deadpool with a dash on the end. Every Deadpool now is all one word, but it's Deadpool. It's like very blocky. I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too.
I actually think I'm going to steal Bryce's answers probably here. I love that X-Men 90s. The sideways font thing.
Just the tilted.
Yeah, I love that. I really, 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 really love that.
It's good logos.
I like it. I agree. I approve of all of those answers.
All right, I got one or two more here. It's also from Alex. He says, when should we expect the first wave of DC Rebirth trades? It's going to be a long time. They haven't even solicited them yet. So, January, February?
Well, because are
really
they only going to be 5 or 6 issues?
I mean, don't know. Whatever the first arc is, plus the Rebirth special, probably.
Wouldn't be until January? Isn't, like, for example, Batman already at 6 issues?
Yeah.
So they could do it now. I mean, there's obviously the lead time.
Well, we might get.
You think it'll be 4 or 5 months?
We might get the solids for next month for those, because like Batman, we're already on 6.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. If they were soliciting for next month or for what the next month will be, it would be January. They would already be in the book distributor. It would already be on Amazon. The book distributor is getting way ahead of us, so they would already have that stuff on there.
It's funny, they get it ahead of us, but we get to sell it a week normally before they do.
Yeah.
Because on Amazon, it's always whenever I have a trade up for my pull list.
Yeah,
it's always you can pre-order it.
Yeah. All right, we got one last here. It is from our good friend Indie Gator on Twitter.
Indie Gator,
there he is.
Sounds like a familiar person.
Drinking some good beers. He says, Dan Didio has indicated the DC has 5 or 6 as yet unannounced books for Rebirth. What are everyone's best guess? We were talking about Legion earlier. That's definitely coming. JSA.
Young Justice.
I wonder if they were doing the Young Justice. I mean, they have Teen Titans, so they're not, but I wouldn't mind a new Young Justice.
I mean, Booster.
Well, the 3 we know is Justice League of America. Oh, sorry, the 4 we know is Justice League of America, Super Sons, Legion, and JSA. Those 4 they've already talked about.
Yeah. So it's going to be Justice League Antarctica and Justice League International.
I'm down. If it's given to Mattis, I'm down. DeMatteis.
Guy Gardner solo series.
I think it would be... That might be interesting. I mean, they're probably going to go with, again, Booster Gold is a possibility. You also have... I mean, they could do...
Bryce.
They could do Metal Men.
Read this. Let me know what you think. Metal Men would be good.
Wait, aren't they coming back? Oh, no, that's Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol's back,
but Doom Patrol's Young Animal, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a fair amount that they could do.
Yeah, I don't know what else. There's a couple. I mean, we've said 3 of the 4 big missing ones.
Animal Man, Swamp Thing. Like, they could bring back Justice League Dark.
Yeah. Justice League Dark might do it, especially if they're going to do that movie.
You know, so I mean, there's a fair amount out there. So.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff. All right, we're going to wrap up here. Bryce had to run off, but he will be back on next week for an actual, I believe, full episode. We have to thank all our good friends on Patreon. This is that time of the month where we have to thank everyone that backed us, for the month of August. I'm sorry, for this month of September, I should say. So I believe all your money is gone through, so I can actually talk about you now. If it hasn't, well, what are you going to do? Let's thank our big backers here, the guys that to give us all their money. That's our good friend Albert Soy. He has that app Plant everywhere on iTunes. Make sure you check that out. Julian Titus, Nerds Without Pants podcast, pixelbit.com.
No pants.
There it is. Ryan Hess, he's got that Preach podcast at soundcloud.com/Preach podcast. He also wants to help a friend of his, and I told him I'm more than welcome to do this, or he is more than welcome to do this. I'm happy to talk about this. A friend of his is making his very first video game. It's an indie game. It's on Kickstarter right now, and so they're just getting, trying to get that initial backing. It's a game called Cat Story. It is a like an old school side-scroller platform. Looks pretty fun. So you can get that at kickstarter.com/projects/lofty/cat-story. I'm sure if you just search for Cat Story on Kickstarter, you can find it much quicker than typing in that logo.
Yeah, don't search Cat Story on Google.
Yeah, don't do that.
That'll probably kill you.
Jody Lawson has Canon, the Triad Comics Anthology at triadcomicsstudio.com. Pick up some of those books.
I actually checked out his website, and I want to read something, but I don't think he can. So if I'm wrong, tell me about it, because I was trying to check out some of the stuff, and there was not... I mean, you could order books.
Yeah.
There's a book you can order.
I thought there was supposed to be some preview stuff, though.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I just didn't find it. So if I'm wrong, let me know. Let me know.
Take a look.
Yeah.
Joshua Redding, he has a podcast called Tangent Break. Make sure you check that out on iTunes. A couple novels, Twilight of Ages and Dawn of Darkness. Those are on Amazon. Pick those guys up and leave them some good reviews. Of course, John Nesmith, he's got that Drinking with Batman podcast at drinkingwithbatman.libsyn.com. Manoa Plays, Sam Shea, Talon Bray. Those guys are also awesome. They give us all sorts of money for this podcast. We love them very, very much. Thank you, guys.
We appreciate it.
We have a big list of people we also want to thank. These are our
Yeah, do it in one breath.
Let's see what I can do here. We have some great people here to thank. Bunch of names you'll recognize. Let's thank them anyway. Alex McHale, Matthew Schnapp, Don Kilson, Mark Long, Ivan Liskanik, Brian Morawski, Dennis Jansen, Paula Schultz, Jason Thomas, Blake Etheridge, Keith Amaral, Chris Noyes, who was just at PAX. He texted me from the World of Warcraft panel that I was watching online. And I'm like, I'm watching it. You're there. Kevin Nguyen, David Sfar, Stephen McCallery, Travis, Gary Hollinsby, John G, Sloan Ocularis, Aaron Wright, Father Dante, Joel Jimenez, Chris Pelicky, Kevin Ellis, and Edgar Moreno. Thank you guys all very, very much. Bunch of new names in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We getting out of here? Are we done?
I think so.
All right, let's
You
get out of here.
have to finish the outro.
Yeah, let's finish this outro. I got some more of the Warcraft to play. I'd be comic books to read. This isn't the Geek Box.
Pokemon's to hunt.
Is your farming thing getting done right about now?
Gotta go meet my Joker
maybe a
duck
bit.
tonight.
Joker Duck. Oh, I'm so sorry for the Geek Box this week, too. We literally talked about WoW for like an hour and a half, and that's the only thing me and Ryan talked about. So, ComicConspiracyPodcast.com. That's where you can find all the episodes. Geek Box on iTunes. Sure, you go there as well.
I'll be missing out next week. I could go see Prophets of Rage.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna be gone. You're gonna be gone, but Bryce will be here. So
yeah, so
slightly even out.
Yeah.
Rate and review us, please. Thank you. The Comic Conspiracy at geekbox.net or the contact form. That's where you can send us emails. Do that, please. Patreon.com/comicconspiracy. There are a couple books our way. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz. A couple big sales. Huge sale from Marvel.
I wouldn't get one free.
Yeah, I hope you guys took advantage of that. Big sale on Marvel last week. Conspiratobrock.com. Brock's blog and video pull list. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie, who should be back next week. It's his Doctor Who podcast, as well as Etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. My wonderful wife, Leanne. That's all her art on there. Pick that up.
She's got those larger prints now, like the Gotham City one, because you didn't have those in the shop.
No.
So, but she's got a couple.
That's her friend Lane.
Oh, that's Lane?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's her friend Lane that she sets up with.
Girl Lane.
Yes, Girl Lane, not Guy Lane.
Well, you should go get her Harley. It's pretty awesome.
You should, yeah. We sold another one here at the store. Get another one. Ryan Higgins, Ryan, that's me. I'm on Twitter. Brock is Brock Sager. Bryce is Larsen Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Con Store. Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, All Talk Podcasts, and Manga Machinations. Those are other podcasts on our network. Woohoo! And we're done. Thank you, guys. We're out. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.